What's up everyone, Havoc here. We're going to compare two Asus TUF laptops side by side. The two laptops are the TUF F15 and the TUF A16. Right now, these are the most budget-friendly TUF laptops available as of this video. You can get the F15 for $1,049 on Best Buy and the A16 for $1,299 on Amazon. If you're considering any of these laptops, let me know the reason why in the comments below. And just to let you know, these videos are not sponsored by Asus or anyone. I bought these with my own money and all opinions are my own. With that out of the way, let's get into it. Starting off with the design, both laptops are identical in terms of ports. On the left side of the laptop, we have our DC in, Ethernet, HDMI, two USB-Cs, but on the F15 it supports Thunderbolt 4, a USB-A and an auxiliary port. On the right, we have one USB-A and a Kensington lock. A keyboard layout with a full numpad, our shortcut keys on top for volume, mic muting, and Armoury Crate or G Helper depending on which one you have installed. RGB lighting and its various effects include static, breathe, color cycle, strobe, ambient, and more. The trackpad is average at best. I believe it's plastic and you have to press really hard, so it feels like you're about to break through the trackpad just for it to register clicks. It's best to just use a mouse instead. The laptops both have a good hinge design, so it's pretty sturdy and it doesn't creak or make noises. And lastly, the F15 weighs 4.85 pounds, whereas the A16 weighs in at 5 pounds. Moving on to the internals, both are running on Windows 11 Home Edition. The F15 is powered by an i7 13620H Intel Core processor. It's using RTX 4070 laptop GPU with 8 gigs of VRAM. I wish it was at least 12, but we'll probably see that come out later. And it comes with 1 TB of storage and 16 gigs of DDR5 4800 MHz RAM. The internals for the A16 are going to be powered by AMD Ryzen 9 7940HX processor, also using an RTX 4070 laptop GPU with 8 gigs, and it includes 1 TB of storage, but is using 16 gigs of DDR5 at 5200 MHz RAM. Both have a mux switch and Optimus, which allows you to seamlessly switch between the integrated graphics of your CPU versus the dedicated graphics from the GPU, and both are using the latest Wi-Fi 6 connectivity. Alright, onto the cooling. Cooling for the F15 is using 84 blade arc flow fans. The A16 is using the same fans, however it also has up to 5 heat pipes to allow better heat dissipation along with a dust filter. I haven't had my laptop long enough to say if the dust filter is actually beneficial or not, but I'm thinking that my cat's hair is probably going to clog up the mesh filter and reduce airflow into the laptop over time. But we'll see. And as far as noise goes on the 3 different modes, there's a lot of variables to this test, so take it with a grain of salt, but here's what I got. Also, I don't have a professional sound measuring device, so I'm just using my phone's free decibel recording app, which has been pretty accurate for other situations. Okay, so for the audio quality on the F15 and A16, Asus claims to have included Dolby Atmos, high-res audio, and two-way AI noise cancellation. Well, I've been spoiled by the speakers on my MacBook Pro M3, so when I listen to the audio on this laptop, it's a very disappointing metallic sound, and you really can't appreciate the bass. I will say the F15 sounds worse than the A16. I tried fidgeting with the settings, but there's only so much you can do to make it sound better. Overall, this is one of the weakest points of the laptop. I'll play some audio here for you so you can get a sense of what it sounds like, but again, this is probably the most inaccurate way of listening to audio for a laptop, especially because the sound gets distorted as it comes through my mic and then as it comes through your speakers. So just take it with a grain of salt, but here it is, just for completeness' sake. Let's talk about the screen. The size is 15.6 inches on the F15, and the brightness on the F15 is supposed to get up to 300 nits, but it's really hard to believe that to be true because it's very difficult to see even in a well-lit room. The display is 144Hz Full HD 1920 by 1080 16:9 aspect ratio IPS display. On the A16 we have a 16-inch screen, hence their names, the 15 and 16, and the brightness is claimed to be at 400 nits, and I would say that seems on par with what they claim. The display is 165Hz with a QHD Plus 2560 by 1600 resolution and a 16:10 aspect ratio IPS display. Both have 100% sRGB and a 75.35% Adobe RGB. Viewing angles are going to be the same for both, and both of them have an anti-glare matte finish on the screen. Personally, I like the glossy finishes that are seen on like the G16, G14, and the MacBook Pros, but that's just me. Both come with 1TB of storage, and you have another NVMe slot to add another M2. RAM on the F15 is 16 gigs of DDR5 at 4800 MHz, and we do have the ability to upgrade to 64 gigs total max capacity. On the A16 we get DDR5 at 5200 MHz, and the max capacity for this laptop is going to be 32 gigs. I would highly recommend upgrading since 32 gigs of RAM seem to be the new 16. Both have 2 memory slots and are very easy to upgrade or change out the RAM and solid state drives. Software is going to be the same in both. You're running Windows 11, and we get access to Armoury Crate or My Asus. Some consider this bloatware while others like to use Armoury Crate. The biggest thing is if you don't want to use Armoury Crate, then you can install G-Helper. If you don't know what it is, you should definitely check it out. It makes the laptop experience less cluttered in my opinion. When I got my laptops, I didn't really have much bloatware, and I didn't have any security applications like McAfee installed. It was just a basic Windows Office suite that was already preloaded, and I ended up just deleting that. Now let's get into performance. Mainly it's going to be gaming performance because I'm not really testing out video editing since I mostly do that on my Mac. We'll learn some benchmarks on both laptops for the same game and see what we're getting in terms of temperatures and FPS average. Okay, here we go. Alright, if you made it this far, I really appreciate you watching, and I would appreciate if you can hit that like button too. And let me know in the comments below which one you're considering so far. So the battery life is going to be pretty subjective because everyone uses their laptop differently. When I'm gaming even a remotely heavy game, I always have it plugged in to maximize performance. But on the off chance I'm not plugged in, I get around 1 to 3 hours of the game, depending if it's a AAA title versus an indie title. For browsing and watching videos, I'm getting anywhere from 3 to 5 hours. So yeah, the battery life is not the greatest, but it's better than, getting an hour. The battery on the F15 and A16 is the same. We get a 90 watt hour battery. There's a 240 watt charging adapter for the F15 and a 280 watt charger for the A16, which can get pretty toasty, so it's best not to leave it covered to avoid any potential fire risk. We also get 100 watt Type-C fast charging, and the fast charging goes to 50% charge in 30 minutes. As far as the warranty is concerned, we get 1 year for both. You do get the option to buy the My Asus extended warranty. However, and I learned this the hard way, if you buy the laptop from Best Buy, then you don't have the option to get the warranty from Asus. You have to buy the Best Buy's Geek Squad warranty, which is kind of strange. I think Best Buy and Asus have worked out some kind of deal or something, but I mean, it is what it is. So what's the reason that I bought these laptops? Well, it's the best price for what you're getting compared to other similarly priced laptops. You have upgradable RAM, 2 RAM slots which are easily accessible and not soldered on like the Asus ROG Zephyrus series, and you also have 2 NVMe storage slots. Keyboard key travel is also great to type on and it feels just right for me. But not everything is great about these laptops. Here's what I don't like. The audio is horrible. It's like you're listening through a tin can. The screen brightness is lackluster on the F15, but the A16 is okay. And there's also these cheesy stickers all around and cringy text as part of the laptop design. It's easy enough to remove the stickers, but I can't do anything about the text graphics. The A16 luckily doesn't really have that problem though. And the webcam is only 720p and it is terrible. Anything 720p should be a crime in 2024. The minimum at this point should be 1080p. To wrap things up, overall these laptops are the best budget option available. I believe the F15 drops to like $980 around Black Friday, so if you can hold off for a few months, then you can actually get this cheaper than its current price. And this is the lowest price I've ever seen for the A16. However, if you need a laptop right now that can run any game on pretty much very high or ultra settings, then these laptops are going to be your best buy and you won't regret it. Personally, my choice is to go with the A16. I feel that the AMD CPUs paired with NVIDIA's GPUs is a good combination, and the A16 also has a 2.5K QHD screen with better brightness. So now that you made it to the end, let me know in the comments below which one you decided to buy. And if you don't want to get these two, then which one are you considering? Anyway, thanks for watching, Havoc out.